You could still hear the disappointment in Pete Carroll's voice a day after Seattle's 25-24 loss to Chicago. I'm Jen Mueller with your Seahawks Daily. The outcome Sunday means Seattle will finish at the bottom of the NFC West just a year after winning the division. But that doesn't change anything about the way Pete Carroll is approaching the final 2 games of the season.
No, we're going to do everything to keep our focus on playing this week. Just do it 1 week at a time and just keep rolling. Our approach has always been set up for whatever the circumstances bringing, and in this regard, it's no different. So we're going to go after it and calling our guys to be in it and study and bust their tail to get really good at the game plan and put our best foot forward for this ball game.
Winning and wanting to always compete isn't just about what happens on the field. It's part of the mindset and attitude demonstrated in the process, starting with the coach himself.
If I can't keep my act together, how can I expect somebody else to? And so I think it's really important that I'm really disciplined about that. So I've got a whole way that I do it and the conversation that keeps me on track. And our players know they can count on me. They know where I'm coming from. And they may not agree with it, but they have always been there for us and responded well. And I'll tell you too that I'm listening to players. I always talk to guys. I always want to hear. I want to watch and see how they respond and how they react. I'm trying to make sure that the message is clear and fresh and clean and on point at all times. This isn't like some old story. That's not what we're telling. I'm telling the story on a day-to-day basis based on the people that we're dealing with and the situations that we're faced with, and trying to make the most sense that makes it most clear for us to be at our best. And so that's an ongoing competitive challenge that I take on, and that's what I think my job's all about.
There are 2 key areas that would give the Hawks a chance to close out the season on a high note: late game execution and third down conversions. Seattle converted just 3 of 10 against Chicago and missed some opportunities late. But that wasn't the thing that prevented a 36th fourth quarter comeback from Russell Wilson.
It's not one thing. There's a number of areas that we're trying to get hammered out where we're just cleaner and sharper. It's just coming through. Really, what I talk about all the time, Tim, is that we're trying to play like we've been playing, and don't let the situation of the game cause you to try to do something that you weren't doing in the earlier part of the game. Just keep executing and focusing on that is more. It's more of a challenge than you might think. You just need to keep doing stuff right. Just try to keep working to clean up that mistake, an issue, a choice a guy may make in a situation. And so we're just trying to clean it all up and so that we fit off of one another. It just seems like in the past that those issues have not stopped us from winning the games, and we've been able to accelerate even in our situation at the end of the game. Not happening like we want to right now.
Looking ahead, the next couple of games gives Rashad Penny an opportunity to build on his second 100-yard rushing game in the last 3 weeks. And after a quiet start to the season, Carlos Dunlap has made his presence felt with 2 sacks against the Bears and 5 total in the last week.
You can see how obvious it is a factor when a guy gets hot and gets going, that he can affect other guys and help the whole group. So we were just trying to, make it a competitive situation, give other guys a shot who had some numbers that might give us a little inkling, like we can get something out of LJ or we get something different out of Rasheem if we moved him around. And so that was really what was going on. And it couldn't be more clear as how a guy responds to the competitive opportunity. He wasn't happy with that. He wanted to get back out there, and he has torn it up in the last few weeks and has given us a real boost. He's playing great football.
Rasheem Green has benefited from the current rotation. The 4th-year player recorded 2 sacks against Nick Foles. He's tallied 3.5 in the last 3 games and 6 QB hits. Sunday's game gave John Reed his first significant playing time of the year, which will only help him gain more confidence.
John was out there working it. He had some real good learning opportunities. He got some good work. He made a couple nice plays. Got challenged pretty good. He got challenged down there at the end of the ball game in a big way. This only helps John. Just as we went through the film, you could hear him, recognizing some situations that he could have taken advantage of and things like that. So he was growing. So it was a really good experience for him.
Reed was forced into action because both DJ Reed and his backup Bless Austin were in COVID protocol. But Coach Carroll says the team will get a boost with a number of players expected to return this week. Here's another thing to track during the final 2 weeks of the season: the number of tackles made by Bobby Wagner. The Pro Bowler leads the NFL with 170 and has already set a new career and franchise record. His legacy as one of the greatest in the game is already cemented, and now he's become a standard for others.
He does make a statement for the model of what you're looking for. And he is really a tremendous team player, and in all ways. And I think it also speaks to why we paid him the way we paid him. He was that valuable to our organization and that valuable to our club and in the locker room and in the community as well. I mean, how much could you ask for? And 170 tackles too. Year in and year out. So I think in that regard, he is a standard. Everybody would want to get that guy if they could. So I don't know that that's so fresh and new, but he is a standard.
Seattle closes out its home slate of games Sunday against the Detroit Lions.